How nigga do?
Trenches, you know what time it is. God, boy like a son to me. You know what I'm saying? Derell Bedingfield, linebacker, Toledo. Take it away, son. Tell them who you is.
Oh man, Mike Champion, Toledo Rockets, man. Renegade alum, Benedictine alum. Hey, can't say too much more, man. Google.
He in the trenches, kind of hit this 225, you know, because that's the standard.
Oh,
Let's get it.
You usually get paid for this.
Let's get it.
Two.
Let's go. Yep. You got two more. Yes, sir. And that's that. And that 5, and that's that.
Cool far, man. What you got, man?
Alright, I'm live, so go ahead.
Godfather on the bench, you already know what time it is. This is how we do it in the trenches. Yes, sir. Look at that. Yeah. That's that.
Hey, man. Hey, man, y'all getting this for free, man. You know, I get for free. I get, you know.
Took it for free.
Damn.
Hey, y'all still got some time. We're going to get into that.
Oh, look who it is.
We're taking it off back in the trenches, y'all. We're back in the trenches. Coach Ted here. Y'all, we got our first special guest. I ain't gonna do too much. I'm gonna let him actually introduce himself. Derell Bedingfield.
Man, Derell Bedingfield, Toledo football, Benedictine alum, and I played for the Cleveland Renegades, Renegades. Man, we had a lot of different names. CMHA,
He been successful on every level. You know, he been a little bit modest, you know, but, you know, as far as the Renegades go, he was a Renegade Redskin, actually. You know, he started off, the team was called the Redskins, they switched to the Renegades.
So you was there in the prime time.
Yeah, he came
in the prime time.
Special player throughout that, became an 8th grade All-American, AYF. I think he probably was like the first one from his area to actually do so. Went on to Benedictine, became an All-State player, became a Division I football player. Just completed his freshman year at Toledo.
Wait, hold on. We gotta let us know what it is.
I go all day on it. You know what I mean?
You gotta give us the rundown. You gotta give us the rundown. Let us know where you come from. The middle school. What positions you done played and everything.
Let's start from the beginning then. King Kennedy Projects. One doing too much of nothing. Grew up around a lot of females, a lot of aunties or whatever. So the first team in the area, Redskins. Started there when I was about 6, so that was like 2010, 2011. First couple years there, any game I ever lost was a championship game. I think I might have lost like maybe 2 regular seasons, but I got like 4 championships in Muni League.
So you just had winning it's just in it.
And that first ever Cleveland vs. Akron All-Star game MVP. Multiple championship defensive MVPs, All-Star games, man. That's the 8th grade, third best team in the country, AYF, top 60 All-American. Going into high school, I think sophomore year, honorable mention All-State, junior year, second team All-State, and senior year, first team All-State, 14 Division I offers later. I'm at Toledo kicking it my freshman year, man. Yeah, man, we thugging it out now.
And hey, that's what we producing down here.
Oh, for sure.
That's what we producing down here.
Man, that's
Hey,
long lineage.
that's what we producing.
Long lineage, man. And this is just, man,
Shout out to all this is one of many.
Shout out to all the former POW 7 players, former Redskins players, Renegades players. I mean, you know, a lot of us, you know, have moved on from that, you know, are back home now. But if it wasn't for you guys helping shape a lot of us, you know, Juice was a player. He later came back to coach, Tevin as well. Man, shout out to y'all, man, because if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be in the places that we are, man. It's really helped shape a lot of us from youth and some of us in our adult years. Shout out to that.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get in. You said you were playing style defensive player at Toledo, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, so if you don't mind, we're gonna get into your freshman year. Get a little recap of your freshman year. How many if you can recall, how many tackles did you have? What was your stat line like?
Cool little special teams player, man, gaining the weight throughout the season. So they didn't show too much love on the back end, on the linebacker side.
But you still got your experience.
Oh no, I still got the experience on the special teams side. Couple tackles throughout the season and everything. But yeah, good special teams player, scout team player, make the offense better, man.
What's something you would say your freshman year at Toledo taught you?
What's your turn, man? We had about 5 guys declared for the draft this year. Deontay Johnson just declared for the draft. So when you playing behind a 6'3", 6'4", 230-pound, fifth, 6th-year senior, man, you learn.
Who did you like? So in your linebacker room with a lot of older guys, you know, like, did you learn from any of them? Or the guys that was in front of you, you know, just how to be a college football player? Like, you know, who did you learn from? Like, really, like, study what they was doing on a day-to-day basis.
Definitely Deontay, my boy Tay Johnson, out of Detroit, Michigan, Cass Tech player, and Dallas Gant, O-State transfer that we had. Definitely looked at both of those guys. They kind of chill demeanor, quiet guys. They sit back, but they do their work, man. 100+ tackles on the season. Man. Stop sitting behind them in the film room, on the field, practice field, on the field and everything. Sitting behind them guys and just learning to sit back, wait your turn, how to study film, what to put in your body, how to talk to the coaches, how to talk to the media. Definitely sitting behind those guys.
So going into your sophomore season, next season, what's the approach? Saying that it's new year, you get back, you know, all the off-season workout when you're starting. Conditioning workouts. You say you spoke of nutrition. Mm-hmm. So, what's your plan coming up in 2023 to make sure that you're on that field as a starter?
Oh man, 2023 is gonna hold a lot of surprises for a lot of people. I definitely got the coach's attention a lot with winning multiple scout team player of the weeks and everything. Getting to travel with the older guys, winning those awards throughout the team. So, yeah, earn the respect with the coaches and everything. Nutrition, putting on about 10, 15, 20 pounds, trying to get up to about 220 this year to just help me stay healthy and be able to compete on the field with those top tier guys and everything like that. And getting deeper into the play.
And another thing, how did this season humble you, per se, as to, you know, you always been, since I've known you, I've been part of the Renegades part of coach since 2002. But I also played, you know, for the same organization, you know, whatever the case may be. So, as far as you always being that man, the main man, all the time. Youth league to high school, get to college.
College definitely.
I mean, it's a freshman all over again.
You get some of that humble pop, man. Yeah, you know that everything I just said before Toledo,
right,
is out the window. Right. Out the window once you step foot.
Right. They don't care about no stars. They don't care about none of that.
We don't care how many stars you got, how
much you did in middle school,
high school, how many tackles you got, how many offers you had. You're now. Yeah, you at square one back with everybody else, and you really competing against guys that do this for a living. You competing against these 23, 24, 25-year-olds that got kids, that got a real family that's trying to do this.
Trying to take care of.
Man, so you really gotta go out and take somebody. livelihood, man.
So let's talk about the advice that you have for the high school seniors and juniors this year when you talk about the recruiting trail, because we know that with the offers that you had, I mean, you really ripped up the camp circuit because you was a little something everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So give me some advice and some stories just about your recruiting journey that can help these guys in a new age of recruiting with the portal. It's different.
Some advice, I could hit that from a couple different aspects. So like if you, let's say you're one of these top tier guys that's getting all the love, getting all the stars and all the offers, just always remain humble with what you do. Remember to thank those people along the way that helped you get to where the spot you at. Remember to thank those coaches that's giving you that opportunity, because as quick as that offer may come, as quick as that offer can go.
You seen it,
like that happened with me with a couple with Cincinnati. That happened with me when the coaching staff changed and everything. I thought everything was still good, still cool and cordial, but they had a coaching switch up and that offer ain't fall through. So as quick as that offer can come, it can go, man.
And I think for him, speaking to that, Juice, we was, really with him on his journey.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about Cincinnati, like I think that was another humbling situation for him, when talking to us and giving us his desires to, want to play there at the time.
Yeah.
And he had to go through the process, because we're gonna let our kid go through the process. Picking up that phone. You know what I'm saying? Like talk about that. You know what I mean? We talk about these committal. Remember what we used to talk about? It's hard to get one offer. You know what I mean? Dude, they used to think we was crazy when we used to tell them that. Well, no, I just got my 10th and 11th one.
I always tell people, it's a committal. Can you pick your phone up right now and call that coach and say, hey, coach?
Oh, so
kind of commit.
All right, so I guess that question leads me into how I ended up at Toledo, or how I ended up choosing Toledo. So Cincinnati was like my first offer. I got I think June 2020, so like in the midst of COVID. So it was my first offer. They hung around. Offers start racking up, piling up, getting calls every single day and stuff. So
who would say a big offer? Just
either Cincinnati or UCF probably. That UCF offer came in. I was
Central Florida?
Yeah, Central Florida. Them couple offers came in. So what happened with Cincinnati was they had a coaching change, but I was still ready to commit, because y'all the first people to offer me. In my mind, that's okay. Well, y'all showing me the most love, and y'all the first people to offer me. So y'all must want me. Y'all believed in me first.
Something that stuck out to you.
Something that stuck out to me. So I called Fickle to commit. Man, let me talk to the defensive staff.
He gave the infamous, let me call you back.
Man,
the head back.
I'm going to hit you
the infamous, let me call you back. That's when the head man tell you got to call you back, it's not a committable offer.
I'm going to say something about that. Like, I never, I wasn't even blessed to be in that position. But I'm going to say, I know for sure it was a humbling experience. Just because of the background that you come from, coming from down here. I know that was something that actually set in your mind that, like you said, as fast as I got it, that's just fast as I can lose it. So now you feel, now it's in your mind, I got to go out here and work my ass off every day. I can't never get the big head. Even once you become that starting linebacker, that 6'2", 6'3", that the freshman young guys looking up to, you still got to have in the back of your head, I can still lose it. I got to go out here and be hungry. I got to be hungry and hungry. You feel me? And I personally appreciate that from you, because that's showing something to the youth that's coming from where you coming from.
Oh no, man.
The ones that's coming behind you.
For sure.
So I actually, with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this first segment up. We're gonna go ahead and take it to commercial and get a word from our sponsor, the Access Taxes Services. Right back.
What's going on, everybody? CEO Des here, man. I want to talk to you about what's going on this tax season. The Incubator CLE has partnered with Access Tax Services. They're located right in Cleveland, Ohio, 11309 Buckeye Road. They've been there for almost 20 years, serving the community, providing trusted tax returns. They offer tax refund advances up to $6,000, man. So you don't want to miss out. You can call today and schedule your appointment, get your taxes done and filed, and it's done for the year. It's handled. So don't waste any time. Call today, set up your appointment, and let's get you your money. Appreciate it.
Can't afford to lost again. I know the feeling. Damn. Why the fuck you always in your feelings? I've been banging with watch the investors. They kill Tracy.
Back with Coach Hardaway. Back with Coach Juice. Our special guest.
Derell Bedingfield Jr.
Okay, throw that in there.
Alright, we're gonna go ahead and right here we're gonna pick up with the
AFC North division.
For the last few weeks.
First of all, you're a young buck.
Oh man.
So we say AFC Central.
AFC Central.
AFC North division, like my boy called it. AFC North division.
Well, when the Houston Oilers used to be in the division, my boy.
Yeah.
We grew up on that Central.
So what you got new, man? What you got new?
Alright, so
we talking Browns?
We're gonna start with your team. We're gonna start with the Renegades, man, because
and I about promise you when Lamar Jackson got hurt, y'all about gonna win another game, and my prediction was in there almost right.
Like this. But what I tell you, everybody was talking about this Snoop, he this, he that. He ain't Lamar Jackson.
I knew that.
Everybody told me Snoop Dogg.
Everybody always in love with the backup.
Nobody was going to ball. They gonna trade him. They can't trade Lamar. Plug in. We got 28. With Lamar Jackson, you average 28 points.
Mm-hmm.
Without him, you average what? 12.
Yeah. Man, the last 4 games without
that
Lamar.
Ain't good.
Well, they need the bag ready for him.
The last
four
4 games
on his bag.
The last 4 games without Lamar, Baltimore offense, 13 points, 17 points, 3 points, 16 points.
That's crazy.
The last 4 games without Lamar.
And Lamar is kind of, is he hurt? Is he not hurt? Well, I see a lot of people like they're saying, if I don't get this contract, I would be stepping.
But in my opinion, I wouldn't have stepped on the
damn field. Grass.
I would never step on the field this last year.
Especially the way he played,
the
style of quarterback he is, it's twice the chance that he
No,
but
y'all talk. See,
but I mean, you talking about his money. You talking about his money, right?
People ain't looking at the game. He in the pocket. He escaped.
Yeah,
he
always
the pocket. Left or right. He ain't running the ball, getting hurt. He all three of these last 3 seasons. He had a concussion. What did he do? He in the pocket trying to throw the ball.
Goddamn.
He drifts to his left, trying to to his right, trying to avoid the sack. He gets a concussion. Motherfucker hit right. He lands right there.
Either
next game. Hold on. The next year after that, same thing. In the pocket, trying to avoid the sack. Boom, another injury. This year, same thing. Trying to avoid the sack, escapes to his left. Knee injury. Y'all trying to keep this man in the pocket. He's a running quarterback. Let him do what he do.
So do you think that
let him do what he do?
So do you think that we can expect him back playoffs in 2 weeks, or what are we doing?
I don't think he's coming back.
I can't blame the man if he don't.
He need to do it for his best interest as far as his money. It's a business.
His money, I won't.
It's definitely a business.
So just like the commentators been saying and all, I want to step on a single blade of grass until I got my contract.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do it. I mean, I'm ready to say I got it.
Paid no more money.
Right, it's a business.
But I just want to step
part
on
of it.
I want to step on a single blade of grass until I get my contract, though.
And until then, the Renegades offense is gonna be struggling.
He was a good guy by even stepping on there and doing what's best for the team.
This year. So how many games did he play? Well,
he done made us relevant. We was terrible with Joe Flacco after that. He got his little. Listen, since he came, we've been winning since he came.
Yeah, y'all consistent.
It is what it is. All that other stuff.
We can go discredit Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco took y'all to the Super Bowl, man.
But Lamar Jackson only got 1 playoff win since he been there. He been there about 5-6 years.
But we're a winning franchise, and last time I checked, the top 5 franchises, we're in the top 5 as far as wins since motherfucker we came in the league.
You know who helped y'all get there? Joe Flacco.
I don't
discredit Joe Flacco, man.
Shout out to the Baltimore Browns. Baltimore Ravens. Hey, Baltimore Browns.
Shout out to Joe Flacco.
Okay, now get back to the Cleveland Clowns. Get back to the Cleveland Clowns.
Whoa.
We're gonna take it step by step.
Get back to the Cleveland Clowns.
Because next, I want to start off with the 2 teams leading the North. Bengals, 7-game win streak.
Okay.
What y'all think about the Bengals? And this 7-game win
the
streak
Bengals
was
is rolling. See, like
this is with and without Chase.
See that this is a sign of a good franchise, and the rivalry is gonna always make me talk trash to Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Cincinnati. But the sad part about this, as we talk about the Cleveland Browns, is the fact that what's on this roster, and I guess you say name-wise, that we still end up in last place. the Bengals ripped their organization down to the studs and always have really been a losing organization that didn't want to spend the money, right? Look at what they're doing right now, though. Chase was out, they still was able to win. You know what I mean? They still able to consistently get back to where they at. That's the issue with Cleveland. It's never been about the play. It's always been about the organization. We have suffered because we got a bad organization. And it starts in the front office. Baltimore been striding since they moved from Cleveland to Baltimore because they got a good front office. Ozzie and those guys done a great job.
And those guys been there for years.
And my question with this front office right now, with Andrew Berry, outside of other people's talent, what have Andrew Berry and Stefanski brought to Cleveland? Outside of other people's talent that drafted in other regimes, who on this roster have they picked out the draft that's been a heavy contributor in this team on this team?
Well, you see the comment about your boy, Clowney.
Saying he done 95%, he gone, but I'm cool with that. Clowney ain't did nothing for us anyway. This year got 2 sacks.
What I will say is, you said Kevin Stefanski. If you look at the percentage and the stats for every quarterback he's worked with, even in Cleveland, and Baker Mayfield, Jacoby Brissett.
Don't say no.
It's been better.
Let me say this. Y'all go back, Tim.
And even Kirk Cousins, even when he was in
Minnesota. Let me speak on that Minnesota situation. Ask Stephon Diggs why he asked to be out of Minnesota. He is a receiver killer in his offense. So I totally disagree with that. Minnesota wasn't no. Go look at the numbers. Minnesota wasn't no heavy offense when he was up there. To me, Kirk Cousins was middle of the road when Kevin Stefanski was there. I get tired of the whole Minnesota comparison. He didn't make that offense up there no juggernaut. It's middle of the road.
A lot of play action up there. That's what it is.
It's middle of the road because we got to get to the point.
I personally think, I don't think we've seen everything in his offense. I feel like, look at the quarterbacks he had. He's just
Tevin.
Wait. You think he's seen everything in his offense with Kirk Cousins and Baker Mayfield?
Let's get real though, but let's get real.
Kirk Cousins and Baker Mayfield.
Let's talk some real stuff.
They need play action. They had play action.
But Jules, let me ask you this.
This is the most somebody been spread.
Now,
The last few games with Deshaun Watson spread
Baker, Cousins, and they're striving up there. Got a good offense.
But I'm saying with Stefanski, everything in him is based off what?
Play action.
Play action for sure.
Play action, boot out. You know, you got like 1, 2 reads.
But when do we start to play? Now let's think about this since we've been here. He got it done with Baker Mayfield year 1, right? COVID short year, make the playoffs. He has regressed every year. We didn't make the playoffs last year. We're not making the playoffs this year. We blamed everything on Baker Mayfield a year ago and the years before that. Okay, so we take Baker Mayfield out. We still got the same issues. Brissett did a good job, but what about the play calling? What about the play calling he's doing? Like this nonsense because of analytics that he pulling a cold Jacoby Brissett off the bench to do what on 4th and 1? Who you think you're fooling with that? When he bombs the ball over his head because he come off the bench cold. I'm not understanding that. And some of the 4th down trying to go for it, I don't agree with that. Right. So it's a lot of things that's the fact. How many other people are we going to blame? Joe Woods. They'll say, the D coordinator. So how many other people before Stefanski got to take the blame? He don't need to call no plays no more.
I'm telling you, Joe Woods.
Hey.
Y'all beat us the other week. I mean, but Joe Woods,
the defense been stopping people, but we out of contention.
Y'all beat us, but barely.
This is the thing. With Joe Woods, all right.
Because the offense is terrible.
This a few things I'm going to hit on.
Our offense terrible.
I watch a couple. I watch a couple other podcasts. Shout out Garrett Bush. Shout out Quincy Carrier.
Garrett Bush, yeah, he had a good great take.
I watched their podcast, and one of the things that I took from him is they what did he say? He said he was talking about Kevin Stefanski with the quarterbacks in the Browns offense, and he was talking about Joe Woods. And when he started talking about Joe Woods, he was saying how they're pretty much going off of it's DePodesta, his analytics or something like that. With the analytics, they actually run a game plan through DePodesta before they come out. This guy who doesn't know anything about football, baseball guy. So I wouldn't even put that on the coaches. And one thing I would say,
organization.
It's an organization thing, and that starts with ownership. And I will give the whole coaching staff probably another chance. And this is why. The Browns all we do is we're gonna recycle.
No.
We're gonna recycle and start over.
Mm-hmm.
And the next coach with the next scheme gonna need different players for his scheme.
And
so now we're gonna have to rotate players. So
But
now we gotta find players for this scheme.
It
We
gotta
get a defense. Let's say we get a 3-4 defensive coordinator.
Right.
Now we need to get players that fit a 3-4 scheme.
Yes.
Now we gotta rotate all these different players out. Let's say we
This is a performance-based business, though.
Do a tackle.
Regardless,
he
it's a
he needs defensive tackles. He
It's
needs
a
run-stop tackles.
performance-based business. It's a performance-based business. Juice, am I not lying? You can't come in 1 year, make the playoffs, then regress 2 years. Now we're looking year 4 in the face with a quarterback that's got $250 million guaranteed. You understand? The window don't stay open forever.
No.
So we can't keep dragging our feet. In my opinion, if I'm Jimmy Haslam, I'm calling Sean Payton on the phone. Do you want to be the highest paid NFL coach? I ain't got no time to waste. I done put too much money into the situation. You want to be the highest paid NFL coach? Because we know coming to Cleveland, we have to do things like that. Because in a minute, we're going to get a bad rap for ruining guys' career. Mm-hmm. And it's just going to be a bad place to come. The organization is everything, and I'm like on the fence about this Stefanski coming back for another year. Because we get into the middle of next year, we see the same thing offensively. I just haven't been impressed with that. I just haven't been. Now you look at Baker Mayfield. We said, oh, Baker Mayfield this. Baker Mayfield was never under center in college. He was a shotgun quarterback, and that's why he went to the Rams and looked decent. And my biggest nightmare for this organization, though, seriously, that we gave Deshaun Watson all this money, and situations don't work out, and Baker Mayfield go out to Los Angeles and revive his career. It's really going to be embarrassment to this organization.
What's going on with them Steelers?
Just to finish off with this Browns, I feel like you don't want you on the fence about Stefanski coming back. I want him to come back. I feel like we need to give our coaches a time.
I respect that. I respect that.
Coaches need time to grow in their role, right? Just like a player does.
He don't need to play call. But Haslam has to demand that he does not call plays.
He's in the pros.
Yes, he is.
So let's talk about the Steelers. He's in the pros.
We can go on forever, but you're right.
Steelers.
But hey, with the Steelers still very relevant to the Browns because if the Steelers play the Browns this week, if we win,
Can he pick it? Let's go back to organization.
Kenny Pickett had a great last minute drive against us and sealed that game. But it goes back to my whole thing about football in this time today. I'm there watching when they started that drive. Players like taking plays off. They running the ball. You got defensive linemen just standing around. Watching other people try to make a play. This is just football. This is just a football period at that level. Trying to watch other people make the play. You got defensive backs who could come and help on run support, standing back there watching, looking to see who can make the tackle.
And I think, Juice, that
allow them to go down the field,
especially defensively, because when I watch you call the defense, I watch the defense take the attitude of you. And I think that's so important because I think I'm a big person that believes your players are a direct reflection of the man that's coaching you. You know what I mean? And I think that sometimes when you don't have that guy, I always want my defensive coordinator to be a little bit fired. They're going to tear into some ass. I want every hat at this ball. And if we don't, we will pay the price for every hat not being at this ball. And you can see the difference in these teams that swarming down, you understand? And swarming to that ball.
So there's no reason why he should have made that game on drive. No reason why he should have got that off. Yeah, I'm talking about cats right here waiting like, look, you ain't even touched. You waiting on the outside, you can just you have a knife in and make a tackle. Make a tackle for law. You just looking at the motherfucker over the field. My whole thing is the game. Look, then you got your Patrick Queen. I mean, so overrated. Again, number 18 come in, making him look good.
My boy, Roquan Smith. Yeah,
Roquan.
But he making him look bad that game because they running his side. They running to Patrick Queen's side, chunking him. He trying to come over the top. Where's the linebacker at? Where did he get that side?
He was struggling all year until Roquan got in.
Right. And let me say this too, as far as I talk about the consistency of organization, but it's funny that you guys matched up this week. I always look at, and this from the high school level, your lows not being that low. So when we talk about Baltimore and we talk about Pittsburgh, the lows ain't never that low. Always still being able to roll in the week 16 and 17 with something on the table. That's what I've always respected about the organizations. Y'all lows ain't that low. Now look at the Steelers this year with all the issues they done had up front. They still knocking on the playoff board.
One win away from being in the AFC wild card.
You understand what I'm saying? So that's what I want to see the Browns get to. The lows can't be this low. You know what I mean?
That's a test to Mike Tomlin.
It is. He's done a great job.
I hate the Steelers. I hate the Steelers as a football fan, but Mike Tomlin is hands down my favorite NFL coach. I got the most respect for Mike Tomlin.
That game would have been close.
Stop. Hey man, if it was a fifth.
Yeah, for the fifth, y'all would, you know, that game was y'all.
Well, why you want to come pointing us out? We beat y'all. I was down there in the cold.
That's what I'm saying.
Dog pound. In the dog pound. Watching them slay them Ravens. You know, I was there. So, I mean, we don't want to leave us alone. I think we split this year, 1-1. Right?
1-1. It was a good game.
Sure.
Y'all tried.
Yeah, sure.
Leaving time, but hey, that's all y'all can celebrate. That's cool.
We always gonna celebrate
that team that
that
team that just had that game winning drive against y'all. Let's take them on up at the playoffs too.
Okay, Cleveland Browns.
Hey, but we'll talk about that another day. We're gonna take this to commercial. Get a word from our sponsors at the Incubator CLE.
Cleveland Clowns.
What's going on, man? Did you know that 72% of companies use social media data to inform important business decisions? So basically, people are business owners. They're using the analytics from their social media to make decisions for the future of their business. Again, if you don't have social media, how can you do that?
Back in the trenches with Coach Tibb again. Coach Hardaway. Coach Jules.
I ain't never met you. Nigga living like a dude, like I'm parked up.
We're gonna go ahead and finish up with our last segment. We're gonna start off talking about something that's kind of been I want to say it's been clouding the NFL, the professional football world, but I'm gonna say just the football world in general. And I'm talking about the Damar Hamlin situation with him going into cardiac arrest in the middle of a game, in the middle of a play, pretty much right after the play. And my personal, feelings on it, my personal input, like just on the whole situation, because it's a lot. Like I feel like y'all would have something to say. Like it's a lot that comes with that situation. There's a lot that could have been done different. The runner could have ran. He could have ducked the shoulder differently. The tackler could have actually tackled better. But like nobody's really thinking that in that situation when it comes to somebody's livelihood. Somebody's life being on the line in the middle of a game. So like with that being said, I want to say I feel like the NFL was initially handling it terribly by, pretty much once Hamlin got carted off the field and got actually put into the ambulance and drove off the field, initially saying that, the teams had 5 minutes. 5 minutes, go ahead,
shout out to the head coaches who really stepped up and led the way they were supposed to and said, nah, our guys are done. That is what happened.
Okay. Wow. So you got word from the NFL that Vincent Jackson,
Troy Vincent,
gonna leave off of the Toledo coach to get together to talk about they want the game to go on. Let's not throw false claim, man.
Well, it's not a false claim. They decided that they didn't want to do it anymore.
But at the same time, they had problematical people out there. You get an NFL game.
They supposed to.
They had what happened. They had what I'm saying. They had hella medical personnel out there.
It's $1 billion corporation.
And then you gotta do what? The asset. You gotta do what?
What?
You gotta do what? Stabilize the asset before you put them into what?
Ambulance.
The ambulance.
Good.
How many people fit in an ambulance?
3, 4, 3. Yeah.
Not 4, maybe 2 or 3.
Right.
Fit in the back there, so you have to stabilize them. The mom ended up getting to the ambulance, I heard, and everything. So I think they did everything they could do to stabilize them and get them to the hospital.
Yeah.
You know, so
But
now it's a waiting game. Of course, I've had people in the past who've been, injured afterward. As far they've probably been paralyzed.
And that's great work by that Buffalo medical
paralyzed
staff.
after the game.
Yeah.
And it took them about a week and a half, 2 weeks to get back until they feel they walking around right now. Okay, we're gonna hope the best for the young man and hope that everything works out.
And let me say this, the NFL at the end of the day, they gonna protect their interests. So they ain't never gonna tell the truth about nothing. So I don't believe nothing that Troy Vincent got to say or none of them. They lied about CTE. They lied about that whole situation. And
They care about their money.
I believe this right here. When that situation took away so much from the game with just the lies and the nonsense, let's keep it real. Because they didn't want to take responsibility because they didn't want to pay those guys that was suffering with it. But the fact is, how I would have dealt with that is that through our research, we've understood the development of our players' brains over the years. I don't have the same intel that I had when they was wearing one bar on their helmet. You got what I'm saying? As the game and the medical research evolved,
They have.
our situation and how we deal with this evolved. They never wanted to act like they wanted to even acknowledge that situation. You know what I mean? So that's and that's my problem with a lot of these guys in the here talking about the NFL reviews these guys' medical situations with their doctors, right? To understand if they're eligible for the Social Security claim, they only giving 15% of guys medical benefits, man. And I always thought that was crazy for how we talk about how violent the sport is. You know what I mean? D. Bush made a good point about how this young man, we don't know how he may come out of this situation. He may need round-the-clock care or something. He's on a low rookie salary. He was a 6th-round draft pick. I think his salary was a couple $100,000. Yeah, $900,000. Plus a little signing bonus that he getting. So
my question for both of y'all as coaches, do y'all see a way, and you as a young athlete, as a young football player coming into young, do y'all see a way that we can avoid that happening again? Even though I know it's a small percentage that happens once out of
Not really, man.
seasons, but do y'all think it's a way that we can avoid that?
I think that could have happened a million times over. Football is a dangerous sport. Your body is not meant to keep smashing into this human that as fast as you can, as fast as he can. This could have happened a million times, which it probably has happened. But since this is on the national stage like that, this is why it's getting the coverage.
You got that microscope on it.
Exactly.
And I also say this, but the game have come a long way. Because, when I was in high school, I remember a time, rest in peace, Marcus Steele, went through that situation and he passed away on the field. And as a young man, I want to say that was either my junior or senior year in high school. It was a scary situation for all of us. I remember the whole just high school community, was at a loss for it. It was a sad situation for that young man. I think the game has evolved with the AEDs that really helped save this guy's life. So I do think it has been an improvement that maybe 20 years ago, if a guy go down like this, he might have died. So just the technology and how important those AEDs is, but see, that's something I'm going to tie it into locally, is the access to sports trainers. I believe that we play a game now that everybody should have a full-time trainer, at least at the high school level. In the Senate, those guys don't have full-time trainers. At games, a kid can go down to any given situation, and those moments are crucial. Me coaching at Benedictine, him playing at Benedictine, you coaching at Cleveland Heights, full-time training and medical staffs. We have a trainer as well as a team doctor. So those things are important 24/7, and our city kids don't have that same resource, but this is why it's important. Some of the places that they ask these guys at where they practice at, is there an AED right by the field, as it's supposed to be? Because if one of these guys go down, every minute is critical.
Most of them going to say no. I'm already sure.
So that's something that we gotta. That's a bigger stage with Hamlet, but I always like to tie it in to what we have going on here locally. How can that teach us a lesson so a kid don't go down and lose his life during a situation like that?
Well, but it still comes back to the basics. You have to make proper tackles.
Sure.
You gotta make proper tackles. Now, you have some people who believe
rugby style
and rolling, but you exposing your whole chest.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that. Butt low, drop your shoulders, head up, drive through the man.
I mean, it's a
lot of things that went on. Then they showed him on defense making a different hit that he got fined on.
So maybe that was his
penalty hit, yeah.
That's a hit where you land with his shoulders, but you got fined on, and you know you probably second guessing yourself. But at the same, like I said, you know, we're gonna pray, you know, that he comes out on the top of this thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
But you know, the game gonna change. This is not a contact sport; it's a collision sport. Basketball is a contact sport.
Right.
They get a little.
All the other sports are contact sports. This is a collision sport.
And football, you actually meant to smack each other.
So with it being collision, you got to practice the
proper
technique.
And that's why why I'm really big on. We talk about this all the time.
Wrap this part up. This, got to keep.
Just like that's why we tell kids this game ain't to be played with, and I've always spoke to them about that since they were. We take this thing serious because this is one of the only sports you can walk in one way, and as the game ends or the middle of the game, your whole life can be changed in a situation.
Start walking different, your body feel different, all type of stuff.
And that's just the way it is. So that's why
different.
You got to take this thing serious, especially as the levels get higher.
Mm-hmm.
The intensity pick up. You know what I mean? You got these guys, Division I football players.
Intensity, the speed, everything.
They coming down with bad intentions. That's what we teach. You know what I mean? And I ain't gonna teach it no different. That's what this game is. We're gonna teach a way to be more safe, but the aggression is gonna always be there. We'll never be able to take that out of the situation.
And we're gonna, like you said, we're gonna. I pray we don't. That's the way football is taught. But like you said, we are praying for the best. With DeMar Hamlin and his recovery in the situation, we're not even worried about football with this situation. Just pray he's able to actually get healthy and get back stable,
He's
get back
actually
walking,
awake
get
now.
back handling himself.
He's awake now.
Yeah.
I said the doctor said today in their press conference that the first thing he wanted to know was who won the game, and they let him know you won life. You know what I mean? So he's up, man, and he's squeezing his family members' hands. And it seemed like his mind is there, waking up asking about the game. So I said we praying for his full recovery.
And that's a great thing. That's a great thing that he's actually up, awake, and actually alert. Seeing what's going on. But with that being said, we're gonna make a small transition to the college level. We all seen college football playoffs last week.
Yes.
What I will say is I in recent episodes was kind of hard on C.J. Stroud.
He hurt us.
I was real hard on C.J. Stroud, and even though we lost, Ohio State lost, which I predicted.
He played
his ass off.
Yeah.
That's the best game I ever seen C.J. Stroud play.
But that's the thing. You always talking from just the talks kind of point.
No.
I said, C.J. Stroud, what was it that kept them from winning that game against
Running.
Him running.
Him running.
That's the same thing I said. And I said, he hurt us.
What did he
I didn't
do?
say that. Did I not say that? Hey, man, Coach Juice be trying to discredit me. Did I not say that?
But did he not say that as far as them winning? You just talking about.
I said they can't win if he's not going to use. If he's not going to use his legs, they're not going to win.
But I'm saying he didn't. It is not nothing else that he did as far as throwing.
He did what he always do throwing.
He's
an accurate quarterback
with a running, getting us first down.
First down and extended drive. That's all I said.
That's it.
That's all I said. It was simple. And we already know because what the call went out the game.
And I thought that
that was so.
And you can speak on this from
our running backs.
And we only lost by one
from a defensive coordinator position. But my thing is this though, being up 21-7 and having a 2 touchdown cut, I feel like we gave up too many long touchdowns too fast. When the kid in the secondary falls and they beat us on the deep touchdown, then we come back. And I still don't understand. Jim knows, and Ryan, y'all need to explain this to me. Why y'all keep lining up in that 3-4 and getting torched every time you do it? Here we go, 3-4. Here go Georgia. Long 60, 70-yard run.
They in the playoffs with that 3-4 though.
But
you live by what you already.
But understand this though. That 3-4 was never rolled out until that Michigan game. Michigan ran through that 3-4.
Michigan ran all.
I don't understand why we made that transition to that in that game, in that situation.
Because it's something they saw as a coaching staff.
What, that we didn't got killed on it? I'm just lost to what they was looking at.
Were they not planning to go to the national championship?
They one game away from the national championship.
One game
in the
away,
same 3-4 that
one
you're talking
game
about.
I'm not gonna second guess what they doing.
They did get 42 points put up on it.
Obviously, something he saw. He's a well-known defensive coordinator, so I think he's respected. So I wouldn't second guess what he saw. And also, you got Ohio State. You expect for your quarterback to get a play man coverage on this guy who.
But they ain't really showed that all year when it's on the big stage. They couldn't play man-to-man with Michigan receivers.
Okay, but you showing
that's
that
an expectation.
It's an expectation. You got Ohio State.
That's what they've been working for all summer long.
I agree.
So now they probably say, okay, he ain't get the job done. We got to bring somebody else in to get the job done. Right?
I thought on the last drive, thought we could have got that thing a little bit closer. I thought we went a little bit conservative after the first down. I would have tried to at least get it 10 to 15 yards slightly closer because people were like, oh, he was hitting at 50 yards, but the game is on the line. So it's a whole nother pressure you got to always understand. We want to put him in the best situation to succeed. So
my question for y'all, what would y'all say was the biggest surprise of the playoff between how well C.J. Stroud and Ohio State?
It was a surprise.
And listen, the only reason it was a surprise is because he hadn't actually done it. He hadn't actually used his feet. It's simple when you just say he could just do this.
It's simple because I know football. It's different.
But you do. Hey, I'm not discrediting you. Hey, hold on, Coach. Did I say you don't know football, Coach? Hey, Coach.
Here go the thing.
You don't talk to me, Coach?
Nah, I don't want to talk to you.
Oh, man. Oh.
Here go the thing.
Here go the thing. I can't be speaking too much.
Clemson, right? Mm-hmm. Georgia, Alabama, right? They always got to do what? Play us, and they always feel the wrath, right? Mm-hmm. We play against some teams. It's always coming down to what? The quarterback, what? Making a decision if you want to do what? Come out that pocket and take off. Second time against Clemson, what was he doing?
Fields taking off.
Taking off. The first time, he stand in the pocket, throw the ball.
Fields used his feet. Bear used his feet.
And
go back.
Ohio State quarterbacks.
Even Cardell Jones' big ass used his feet. I was saying that Stroud just gotta use his feet. When they give him the opportunity, put it down.
The time when the game was close and we lost in those games, the big games ago, they weren't using their feet.
Right.
They what? They trying to stand in the quarter, trying to stand in the pocket and throw the ball.
I agree with you.
When it's open space out there, when the green showing, we gotta get those runs, keep those drives alive.
I agree.
Extend those drives. That's most important. Get on those fourth down sometime right there. Like, hey, I'm going for it.
For sure.
Those type of situations need to happen during those type games in order to be successful.
All right.
That's why I'm always what? I'm always confident when I pick those type of.
All right, so what's your thoughts on TCU Michigan game?
Yeah, TCU Michigan, like I said, the running back was hurt from Michigan. I think they had like a lineman or so hurt. You know, I knew they was gonna run the ball. TCU came out, as I said, they was gonna spread the ball. Boom, boom.
And I think Michigan took them a little light, but TCU got the heart of some warriors. They never quit. They gonna fight to the end. I mean, Michigan did to the fault to get back in the game. It's just interesting because I think what's getting ready to happen with Michigan is they'll be at the tip of the iceberg, but man, the NFL is calling for Harbaugh again. And I just don't. The last year he went to interview, I don't know if they're going to survive him interviewing again. You know, it's some top organizations that really want another crack at him. So it's interesting. I mean, he promised he wasn't going to do that again, but he's definitely going to take those calls and
especially
see what's
with
going
Michigan ascending, that being basically under his word. But we're going to see that in the next few weeks. With that being said, your prediction, TCU, Georgia, who your national championship? Who your national champ?
Bulldogs. Georgia Bulldogs going to roll.
TCU.
Who your national champ?
Roll Dogs, man. Go Dogs.
It's going to be tough, man.
It's going to be 50-50. I'm going to go TCU with the upset. I think TCU going to be upset again.
It's going to be
I think the Dogs going to win by 14 and a half points.
Oh, there's going to be a lot to a little bit for sure.
TCU got some dogs on that team.
They got some dogs on that team, but I just don't think that they're going to be able to stop. I think that Georgia's
people like you talking
that
14 point talk.
I think Georgia's defensive line is going to cause havoc, and I don't think they're going to be able to stop it.
TCU by 10. I'm calling it.
He's gonna
Boy,
have to do a miracle.
that boy
They gonna
sipping.
get
He's sipping Baltimore Ravens juice down here. Talking about some 10 points. Hey, he must be sipping Baltimore Ravens juice. Talking like that.
Hey, TCU back 10, man.
Hey, I'm gonna go TCU too, but I don't know how much by. But you know, we're gonna go ahead and close it up. This was in my opinion, this is a great episode.
Oh,
this was a great episode.
you talk about it.
I'm just saying, man. I feel like this was one of our better ones, man.
Anyway.
Thanks for having me, man.
No, thanks for coming on, man. Thanks for giving us your time. I want to say good luck with everything. On all of our behalf, good luck on everything.
Hey, you gonna see him
on and off the field, man.
Oh, no,
keep that humble attitude, keep that hungry attitude, keep showing out, keep putting on for the ones that's coming behind.
Hey, and you gonna see him. He gonna be on the field next year doing his thing like he done at every level.
Saturdays.
Shout out.
Catch me on Tuesdays, Max.
Hey, shout out to my boy PJ. Coach PJ.
Shout out Friends Rocky and Blueprint Sports.
Oh, you on the PJs?
Hey,
my favorite coach.
Hey man,
we out of here.
Coach Ted. Shout out Toledo U.
Coach Juice.
Coach Hardaway in the trenches, dog. We out.